Hey everybody, it's Jonathan and Travis back for another edition of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, including episode 6. This is we've including the trailer. I guess it's 7, but this is episode 6. I'm concentrating on just the long episodes. We've made it 6 episodes in, and we haven't shut down yet. So I feel like that's a success.
That is a success, I would agree. Definitely more people than I was expecting been saying they're listening, and I definitely love hearing that. It makes me feel good, makes me want to keep doing it, and thanks to all the people that are listening. It means everything to us, right?
Yeah, it's huge, and everybody who's following along at SODS_pod on Instagram and Twitter, and following along on the Facebook page. We got a lot of. I actually had Riley Bredman reach out, and he wants to know about merch. We're already getting merch requests for the show, so I guess
Mm-hmm.
keep an eye on the socials. Maybe we'll come up with something like that down the way. But we got a busy weekend of racing to tee up, as I think there's going to be 3 tracks in action in our little area here, Travis, going into the first weekend of June.
Yeah, buddy. It's the first night in a long time here in Southern Ontario. Or like in the Niagara region, we're gonna get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Oshweken, Merrittville, Humberstone, just like it should be. I can't wait to get to Oshweken Friday. I was there at the practice. The facility looks awesome. I actually got a concrete pad, so it is to park on, which is awesome again. And like so many other people do, because Clint made a nice concrete pad in the front, and just all the everything is just way different than when you were there last time. I can promise you that. And the track looked pretty good. The extra week working on it would probably help a lot. And then I'm back to Merrittville Saturday. No, they've been going for almost 2 months now, so routine is normal over there. They've been putting on good shows. It's bike night, I know that. And I just announced there, filled in for you Saturday. Had a lot of fun doing that. I think it's bike night, giveaway, autograph night, and there was one other thing. I know Ken Schrader's coming to drive Pete's car in 2 weeks. And yeah, that's Merrittville on Saturday, just like they have been. And then Humberstone on Sunday for the first time. Terry Vince Humberstone Speedway. Going to open up. Me and you'll be on the call there. And they got Axe Pack Night, 6 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
I know the mini stocks are paying 1,000 to win, both mini stocks and Thunder stocks or Hoosier stocks or whatever you want to call them, are dual on the dirt. And it's going to be like a Mikey Granton kind of style thing for the modifieds for sure. I remember you, Mike, that we all can't believe he's gone, but it's really super sad. We all miss him, but we're going to honor him for the modified feature. And the sportsmen's are there. I think I got them all. That's 5.
Crate sprints, and
Yeah, I
late
know there's
models,
6
of course.
divisions. Crate sprints, that's right, because they're new.
Yeah.
Yeah, new division, crate sprints, and I already saw a lot of people coming there. So yeah, there's going to be should be full car counts in all divisions. Terry's paying good this year, and finally can't wait to get up there.
Yeah, a lot of sponsors coming on board to be a part of that. I'm just looking over the plans for Sunday in particular at Humberstone. Gates open at 5 p.m. Racing 6:30. So if you've been used to the Merrittville schedule starting at 7, half an hour earlier on a Sunday. So make sure you come on down and say hi to Travis and myself. We look forward to seeing you there. I'm looking forward to jumping on full time at Humberstone this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Oshweken gets going as well. 1,000 to win for the Thunder stocks as well. Fan Blast 500 presenting that one on Friday Night Thunder. So a lot of exciting racing to tee up, but let's look back on the
Awesome.
weekend first. You were filling in for me at Merrittville. I was off celebrating some stuff away from the Niagara region and enjoying one of my best friend's weddings. So took me away from the racetrack. I was sad. I definitely missed you guys a little bit on a Saturday night, and sounds like I missed a pretty good show based on everything I heard. And I haven't had a chance to watch the races yet myself. Go back and watch the G-Force broadcast. But Maddie wins the Core Pack
Yep.
Merchandising 358 Modifieds, gets the win over Pete. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing, we're about, probably 4 or 5 features into this whole split between the Wagner motors
For the
and
points, yeah.
the built,
There's one.
and
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
everything's balanced. Like Pete finishes second. He's got the extra arrow on the sides and the Wagner motor, and then Matt won with regular setup. Lindbergh, he's got pretty close to similar setup, I would assume, as Matt. Freddie's got, I think, the Wagner motor
Yeah,
and
he's got
the
it.
sail panels. So for as much talk
Yep.
as there was at the start of the season about whether there's going to be advantages, disadvantages, everything's kind of evened out as far as the modifieds go at Merrittville, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure some drivers would argue there, but like if you look at the numbers, like the Matt won last week. Week before was Susie. Matt did say something to Victory Lane that they've been catering the track a little bit to the W16s, which it was definitely a little slick on, but he ran Pete down with no cautions from, I believe it was about a straightaway away after he got out of traffic. So I'm pretty sure he had to start, yeah, it was handicapping, so he had to start 11th. So he did have to run Pete down with no yellows, and he did. Passed him in one. So, but then, yeah, to me, it's been pretty even. I know there's some people upset about it. Other than that, the Sportsman was a great race as well. Curtis Friesen won the whole thing, or led the whole thing. He was looking great. I think that car might be on torsion bars. I know the left rear is a torsion bar because I saw it in a picture. So that might be an old school setup car, and it was digging on the outside, kind of like it used to look. And he led the whole thing, but then Brad Rouse snookered him on a late restart. And Rossi literally said in Victory Lane, like he saw his crew giving him signals to go to the bottom and try to block Rouse, and Rouse saw that and he's like, "I'm going to top." But so Curtis shouldn't have done that. It was a little mistake. Probably should have just rolled the top like he was been doing all night, and it might have been a different outcome. But he definitely looked fast. It was awesome to see Curtis looking so quick, and his first win's definitely coming soon. And then in the Mod Lights with Brent Begolo. He's going to be our guest later. Picked up three, I think that's three in a row now for him. Chris Hale in the street
Yep.
stocks. He made a late race charge. It looked like it was going to be the Dave Bailey show. And Mark Fawcett out front early. And then out of nowhere in the late race, here comes Chris Hale plugging the bottom with a ton of bite in the Mectra car, blows their doors off, and takes the checkers. And then I think the only one left is the mini stocks, and that was the Jay Moulton show. I just had this feeling all night from watching hot laps. The 10 looked fast, and I had this feeling he was going to break the streak, and he did. Yeah, broke Tyler LaFontasy's. Yeah,
I was just gonna say Jay's been looking fast all year. Like he's kind of had that with how good LaFontazy has been to start the year. It's kind of hard to say, oh, there's another driver that looks dominant or looks strong. But Jay just always just like steady Eddie, man. Like he always just seems to be there when it counts in the end. He always picks
yep,
up a few spots here and there, and I'm glad to see Jay break the streak. Glad to see him break through for a win and another consistent run for Lubeck. I'm just looking over the top five as you mentioned the four cylinders. Lubeck again with another solid top five. Kenny Hare up there. LaFontazy still made his way up inside the top five after starting 13th, so he finished fourth. And Austin Worcester another good run inside the top five. So good to
yep,
see.
definitely. It's turned into the usual suspects there.
Yeah, for sure. It's starting to. It's a deep top 10. I would say anybody in the top 7 to 8 cars I could see winning. But now,
Yep,
after a few weeks of four cylinder action, we're starting to see who is really emerging at the top and who Tyler LaFontasy's main challengers are going to be. I was going to ask you about the Sportsman and about Brad Rouse. He's running
mm-hmm.
Sportsman and the Modifieds. I don't know if that's something that you've ever tried to tackle in a night where you've jumped from one seat right into the next. But how
Hell
difficult is
no.
that transition? Of going like literally from one car, especially when you win, you're in victory lane, and then you got to run back to the pits, get back in a different car, and jump in and try to be competitive there. How difficult is something like that?
Very difficult. That's why he left the sportsman car at home the week before. He even told me that. And but like just to even upkeep two cars is insane amount with the amount of tire work involved. And a lot of guys just change tires, but a lot of guys grind them too. It's the only ones they got, especially now with the shortage. So it's definitely a lot of tire grinding and maybe even possibly siphon, depending on your program. And then just filling the gas, just all the stuff, making the proper adjustments. Now you're thinking about two cars and completely different driving styles. Like the Sportsman's more of a keep your momentum up thing. You can't really make a mistake. Whereas the 358, if you're hooked up and you want to try a little harder, maybe you can make a little bit of a mistake and drive yourself out of it with the horsepower. So it's completely different driving styles. It's definitely not easy, and it was cool to see Brad pick up at least one win on Saturday.
Yeah, I appreciate that explanation too, because uh, I'm sure I'm not the only one that when I started watching dirt racing that I kind of looked at the modifieds and the sportsman, and I'm like, what's the difference between these cars? They look identical, and obviously the main difference is the motor, as I believe it was it
Mm-hmm.
Cody? I think that explained it was it Cody McPherson maybe back in
Yep,
episode
it
two
was
or
Cody.
three.
Yep, he did a good
Uh,
job at it.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciated that and appreciate you touching on that. And I'm just looking forward to a big weekend of racing. We had a big weekend of racing this past weekend, not just at Merrittville, but the Super Dirt Car Series, some local flavor in particular on the Sunday, May 29th
Mm-hmm.
show at Weed Sport. So we had Stuart Friesen. He ended up winning it. He moved up from fifth to first to win the
Yep.
race. Um, then a little further down in seventh place, Gary Lindbergh started seventh, brought it home seventh. Nice consistent run for him. And Matt Williamson was in the top 10 as well, finishing ninth.
Yep.
So a lot of local flavor there in at Weed Sport, and I'm stoked for Stewart Friesen. Like I think for maybe some of
Mm-hmm.
us, we see the truck stuff more, which he actually recently picked up a win in that too. So it's been a good like month
He
and a
definitely
half
did.
here for Stewie. He's really starting to pick up some checkers across the board.
Yeah, Stewie's starting to pick up the momentum in the modified and the truck, like you said. Picked up the win at Weedsport. It was once he got by, I believe it was Matt Shepard. I forget who he passed for the lead. But once he got ahead, he started to pull away a bit, and it was definitely an awesome run by him. Matt in that one was only ninth. Gary Lindbergh did run a great race with it. He had his small block, ended up in seventh. I think Stewie lapped up to like eighth. And then Monday night, Matt was definitely the best from around in the Niagara region here on that one. Got to started 12th, got
Mm-hmm.
third at one point, and looking real good. And it was a good point night for Matt because I believe Max McLaughlin, who was ahead of him, had not the best night. Matt finished fourth, so I'm thinking he might have leapfrogged him. And then Stewie's still leading, so that should put Matt second in points for the Super Dirt Car Series with his fourth place finish. He just got looked like on a late restart. I was watching on Dirt Vision, like I said, he got stuck on the outside because the way Lebanon Valley does it's kind of weird because like it's so outside dominant on restarts that they do put the even or odd number cars on the outside, like they flip the rows, right? So like 1 and 3 and 5 are on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird, they call it the Lebanon Valley lineup or something. So he lined up third, but then had to go to the outside. He had been running the bottom. Decker got him. His car just didn't look like it fired quite as good after that. Ended up fourth. And like I said, should put him second in points. So that's definitely rolling a little bit better this year to start Super Dirt Series consistently. Last year he did have one win.
It was a heavy race at Lebanon Valley. There was looks like 12 cars DNF, so including Stuart Friesen, who ended up
Mm-hmm.
finishing 19th after starting 13th. But yeah, it was definitely a war of attrition. It seems like on
Stewie
Monday,
DNF'd, yeah.
but good for Matt to bring it home.
Stewie had a rough night, got a flat, and then blew up, I believe.
Yeah,
Or not blew up, I don't want to say that, but like had a car
yeah,
problem.
exactly. Yeah, so this has been it feels like it's here now. We're hitting the summer months, and I keep feeling like okay, this is going to be crazy now it's going to get busy, but with Oshweken, Merrittville, and Humberstone all hopefully in action, sounds like the weekend weather is going to be really really good. uh, this is it. This is peak time. This is the peak dirt racing season now. We are well into it and looking forward to getting going uh, to Oshweken in particular, because I haven't been to Oshweken for a race in 3 years, 4 years. So it's going to be good to get back
Two
for
and a
me.
half, almost 1,000 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Me too, I can't wait. Yeah, all of us. We all can't wait to drop the hammer. And it's just that big track that everyone loves to run on the Friday night. And just, I love running there because then you got like if you just run Friday, you just got the rest of the weekend to do whatever you want. And now it's Sunday, and now Saturday if I fill in for you.
Yep.
Just that's why I like running Fridays mostly. Or you can go race.
I wanted to
Most
ask
people, like a
too.
lot of people, especially Bailey and all them guys,
Yeah, I wanted
run
to
pretty
ask you
nicely.
too because you were filling in.
Yeah.
I know you put our new guy William on the call. How did the school bus racing series go? Event number one.
Oh yeah, it was definitely like T Mac in the pink bus. I think it was the ice cream one. Took off, and I thought he was trying to make a show of it and like kind of like lean back and let the other buses get into it. And like I thought they were gonna kind of make it production, but then I realized they weren't doing that, and that bus must have had a problem because if Toddy just kept the hammer down, and he could definitely tell he wanted to win, and it was definitely cool to see them buses go around. None of them tipped. I thought one might tip if they got going a little too hard because I know at Brighton I've seen them tip, and yeah, it was
Yeah, that
pretty
was
cool.
a lot of fun, and there's gonna be more of that too. So if you are a fan of the school bus racing series, make sure you're checking out
Yeah.
MerrittvilleSpeedway.com and checking their schedule for when the buses will be back. And I will be back there this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be at Humberstone on Sunday with you, Travis. you're gonna be racing right on Friday night, so that'll
Hmm.
keep you busy Friday, and we'll be back to talk all
Yeah.
about it. But first, we got to talk to our three-peat winner in the Mod Lights. Brent Begolo is up next on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show.
Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show.
All right, we're back on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Jonathon and Travis Cunningham, joined now by Brent Begolo, racing royalty. It feels like around Merrittville with that last name, but this season alone has been an
Hmm.
impressive one for you so far. I was just saying off air, 3 wins in a row in the Mod Lights, probably could be four. You definitely have that car figured out, and the Sportsman returned to the track on Saturday as well. So, how's the season been going so far, Brent?
It's been pretty good, you know. Coming off of Florida, it was somewhat of a humbling experience. We went down there with pretty high hopes. We wanted to compete really hard, and they were paying 5 grand for that big show, so that would have been nice for the team to win that. But just came up a little short there. So I don't know. It's just nice to get back to Merrittville, home track, and get back to the winning ways and whatnot. So you just we have it really, really good up here. After being down in Florida, it's they don't have a lot of resources and stuff like that. So track prep and other stuff was a lot different. So you know, uh, when you go down there and see all that, you feel really lucky to have what we have at Merrittville and Humberstone and Oshweken and other Brighton. Brighton's pretty nice place for being where they are too. So it's just it's nice to get back home and start off well.
All right, Brent, you touched on how different the Florida tracks were. Like, were they just sandy? Did they take rubber? Like, what was the main difference between the tracks around here?
They were just really, yeah, like you said, really sandy and just couldn't get the car into the racetrack like the fast guys were. Just I'd try and follow them, let's say in hot laps or the heat, and they were just so just locked down a lot more than we were, and it just couldn't really get a hold of it. It got to the point where I actually changed shock packages before we got too deep into the week. So we did that, and it started to come to life a little bit there. But it's just totally different. Just no clay, so it was a little bit different by signs of here we go for the the grip in the clay and the dark area, where up there you want to go somewhat where it's cleaned off. So the fast guys were ripping
Hmm.
right through the middle, and to us up here, that's kind of not normal, right? Just blaster through the
Hmm.
middle. We're either looking for the cushion up high, or we're looking for along the guardrail. It just took us a little bit to figure out what was going on, but um, Josh was pretty fast down there all week. He set fast time there first night. But just to compete with the front runners, they're just in a different ballpark. But it was good life experience nonetheless.
Yeah, you mentioned good life experience. You mentioned some of the mechanical things you picked up. Is there anything in particular that you learned down there that you could apply to your driving up here? Or was it just so vastly different that it didn't really carry over?
Uh, to be honest, it really didn't carry over at all. It's just night and day. It's just I don't know. I just towards the end of the trip, you kind of were getting to the point where, I think I'm just figuring things out, and you'd like to take another 2 weeks at it, but it was time to come home. So um, yeah, we learned some things that way, setup wise, and what the car should have and feel and stuff like that. And we're kind of working on a shock package for that right now. Josh was on something like that actually Saturday night. That's actually I put him on my spare set. I felt bad for him there, so I bolted on my spare set, and he gave us a run for our money there with that. So yeah, we're just trying stuff, and maybe if we go back next winter, we got a better shot at it with that. So we'll see.
Oh, I see. Looking over, I feel like Josh. I think you're at Josh's house right now. I was thinking during this
Yeah,
week that because he's been doing the Savage chassis, which has been Josh has been doing an awesome job. They've been him and Rod Meisner, I believe. I know there's a whole bunch of
yeah,
them in that, and but I'm pretty
yeah.
sure your car isn't a Savage chassis. Am I correct on that?
No,
Pretty
it's
sure yours
yeah,
is a
yeah.
leader. So I've been thinking you two should maybe switch for a week. Tell Josh.
I don't know. He actually had to get into my car because I had to jump in the Sportsman there real quick. So I actually parked the Mod Lite after Victory Lane in the Sportsman pit,
Hmm.
and he actually took the car back to the Mod Lite pit there, and uh, and I asked him. I said, "How did you feel in that thing?" He's like, "I don't know. If I put my helmet on, I would have been through the roof." So
Hmm.
I don't know. For something like that to have to be some cockpit adjustments, but we'll see. Maybe I'll hot lap the 17 and see if it's him or the car, right?
You should, yeah.
I think we'd all be very interested to see something like that. Brent, you just mentioned the idea of jumping out of the Mod Light and directly into the Sportsman. A little earlier in the show, Travis and I were talking about Brad Rouse. He's been doing that with the Sportsman to the Modifieds. How difficult is it to run back to back like that between different classes? Is it a big adjustment? Does it take you a couple laps to get comfortable, or is it just kind of second nature to you?
Well, to be honest, actually, when that whole double duty thing started there, I actually did struggle with the driving styles the two cars, are. I was bringing over bad tendencies of the sportsman car, and I was picking them up from the Mod Light. So you kind of got to start talking to yourself and whatnot, and get your mindset of what car you're sitting in, right, and what it wants and what it expects. So, um, but other than that, like physically, it's fine. I try and stay in the best shape as I can with hockey throughout the winter, and just staying right. So physically, it's okay, but just remembering what car you're in and how it was in like a heat that you just got out of and stuff like that, and just remembering what each car likes and just applying that once you're out in the race and in the cockpit. So, but yeah, other than that, it took 3 weeks there, and then I sort of figured out what to do and where to get my mind right with it, and after that it's okay. So actually, when I only have one car there, like let's say the Mod Lights are off, um, I usually get bored just because you're so used to going car to car to car to car. When it only is one, I'll only do, like, let's say Sportsman, I only do a heat and feature and then I go home.
Hmm.
Where sometimes when both cars are there, I'll hot lap the Sportsman and then heat Mod Light, heat Sportsman, feature Mod Light, feature Sportsman. So it fills the night out for me, but other than that, it's okay.
All right, talking about the Sportsman a bit more. You took a couple nights off. What are your plans the rest of the year? Are you going to run every week, or just when it pays a little better, run Humberstone a couple of times? What's the hot? And you haven't been running quite to up your standards this year. Like you swept the night a couple times, like I think 3 times, right? So what do you think you need as well to get the Sportsman rocking a little bit more?
Yeah, we're just somewhat chasing the money with that. Um, I,
Yep,
I, I can't
hear
I
you.
can't really commit to a full time deal with that, just with other things going on, family time and stuff. So it just really didn't fit the schedule this summer. So um, yeah, what we'll do is just plan on doing eight shows at Merrittville or something like that, and then 8 shows at Humberstone. Terry's got quite a program going on out there with nice high paying races and stuff. So we'll sneak out there for that. And I think Oshweken's got one or two sportsmen on the
I
schedule.
think you're
So
right.
so maybe we'll sneak out for that, and I don't know, that'd be 18, 20 races. So
Hell, that's a season right there.
yeah, that's a season right there. So we're gonna shoot for something like that, and then
Sounds good.
yeah, the Mod Lights full time Merrittville, full time Humberstone for that.
And as we get ready to go between multiple tracks, Merrittville has been going for a couple weeks. We're getting ready to go at Humberstone. Uh, what are the main differences you feel in the mod light between the two tracks?
Um, between Merrittville and Humberstone with the Mod Lite, I find Humberstone very hard to pass. Because I don't find it too technical of a racetrack. where Merrittville with that D and how slick it can get and how different grooves come in, whether it's at Merrittville the bottom and then the top of 3 and 4 because it's getting too slick or whatnot. Where Humberstone you won't have that. It'll be ripping the bottom or ripping the top, so it's very hard to pass. Um, but yeah, that's just experiences throughout the years and new ownerships over there now with Terry, like I said. So, we could have something totally different this summer where it's we got a good cushion up there, but then lots of bite on the bottom. So you'll be able to move around a little bit and hopefully make it easier to pass. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Humberstone, but like if we can just get the cushion to keep the whole way around turn two, because I feel like in the sprint car, like we wail around turn 3 and 4, and it usually holds a wicked cushion there, right? So it feels like you're going
Yeah,
130 miles an hour down the front straightaway, but then you gotta almost park it in one.
yeah,
And that's the super
yeah,
hard part.
yeah.
So if we could get that cushion, and I know Davey Walters and the boys in the track are going to work on it, but if they can get that cushion to go the whole way around, I think that's the ticket to making it complete. Because like most of the races at Humberstone, they're good races, are awesome because they come off four, and that's where both ends really are even, right? Or maybe sometimes the top's even more dominant in 3 and 4, whereas 1 and 2, the bottom's usually the place to be. What do you think on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. That off of two, yeah. Sometimes if you sail her in there hard enough, it really doesn't want to hold you in, and you got to roll out of it. And to be honest, coming off of two on the top, you got to be on it,
Mm,
or the bottom's just gonna eat you alive. So yeah, that's I know they've been trying to build that up a little bit there on the exit because now we roll off of the outside of turn one.
mm-hmm.
So doing that's gonna help that cause. So we'll see. Like I said again, Terry working real hard up there. The place looks great. We could be going into a totally different racing surface. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it. I wanted to touch on too because in my time covering racing, I've learned to really, really have a soft spot in my heart for the Mod Lite. I think it's such a fun class. It looks like such a fun car to drive. What is the Mod Lite experience like compared to some of the bigger cars? Do they feel faster because it's smaller? Just talk to us about what it's like racing a Mod Lite and why it seems like such a fun class, at least from the stands.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, or like you said there, because you're so low to the ground, you're naturally gonna feel like you're going faster. Like you're right beside the guardrail. You can barely see over it. Unlike the big cars, there you can see over them, and you're much higher up. So, and in the Mod Light, you're laying really flat, like the Hoosier stock, so your feet are out straight. And in the big car, you're sort of like lazy boy style. So for sure the sportsman and modifieds are a more comfortable car. But yeah, it's just and then the Mod Lights don't have power steering, so that's another characteristic of it. You gotta really horse it around the track, and you really got a lot of tire feel through the wheels. So um, that's really different. And like they're so small, you got so much room out there. We can easily go four wide and not be too worried about things. Where three wide with a big car, things will get tight. So yeah, it's pretty good. I know I got in lap traffic there a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't afraid to split the lap traffic. There was lots of room, so the boys, we just want these cars to come back in one piece at the end of the night, and then try again next week, and that's all you can hope for.
Oh, I just got talk about your family. Your dad, Jimmy Bigelow, and then Grandpa Gino. Definitely a wicked family of Merrittville. Hall of Famer for Gino. I'm not. Is your dad in the Wall of Fame yet? I'm not sure on that. Should be.
Yeah, he got in there. I think 4 or 5
Yeah, I
years
get you.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years
So you just
ago.
got any good stories on them
I
guys?
think he went in with actually. Yeah, I think he went in with Mike Granton
That's
actually.
that's awesome.
So that's pretty cool to be a part of that class or that
Yep.
year, right? So yeah, he's in there, and we lost my grandfather in 2019 there. So he lived to be 92, which was really cool. He got to see my two Mod Light championships, a Sportsman championship, King of the Crate championship. So yeah, that was really cool. I was glad to close that something like that out while he was around. So that was really important. And yeah, now it's just pretty much for me. I'm just racing because Dad likes it, and it's something we do together. So just keep carrying that through, and we got an excuse to hang out on the weekends and play around with some race cars.
I
So
know he wouldn't fit in the seat right away, but I'd love to see Jimmy Bigelow wheel that thing for one night. I think it'd be a hell of a show.
yeah, I'd find another car to go out there with him.
That sounds like an even better idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
why didn't I think of that?
yeah. We'll get to
Yeah,
settle the score once and for all, right?
I agree there. People who know.
Yeah, multi
Yeah.
generational showdown. All right, we'll get you out of here on this one, Brent. My favorite question to ask any driver: if you can race one type of car at one track, you get for the rest of your life. You got to give me a track and a car. What do you want to race for the rest of your life?
Formula One at Las Vegas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Formula One at Las Vegas. Yeah.
That's a good one.
We can get you in a Haas seat. I think we could get him in a Haas seat for sure.
If they got any cars left, I don't know. They're wrecking a lot of cars over there these days, so who knows, right?
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to put a dirt guy in there that's got some car control. Maybe that'll solve some of the problems in Formula One.
Yeah, well, for sure, all the dirt guys excel in asphalt. You look at Jeff Gordon and Larson and those guys, they're ripping right now.
Yep.
So yeah, you never know.
I always say, how do you make the Haas F1 car a second and a half faster? You put Kyle Larson in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
All right, awesome. Thanks for taking the time out tonight, Brent, and good luck the rest of the way, and good luck trying to make it 4 in a row at Merrittville this weekend.
yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Brent.
All right, cheers, Brent.
Yep.
Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show.
And we're back on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. It's Travis Cunningham, Jonathan Howe, and we're joined by Dylan Westbrook, sprint car driver, coming off a big weekend down in the States, including a victory. How's it going, Dylan?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad, man. It's been a busy start to the year, looks like, for you. Sitting second in the ASCS Sprints points right now as I'm looking at it. Talk to us about your year so far.
Yeah, it's been really good so far. Started out pretty good, Devil's Bowl. Struggled just a little bit at I-30, but bounced back really good after that, and been really good finishes. Yeah, like we've been rolling pretty good, and I think we've been almost podium every race since then.
Yeah, talk about your big ASCS National Win Tour win on Friday at Lake Ozark. You always go good there. You were banging the cush like D-Dubs does, right? You and Matt Covington throwing sliders. You had me standing up. I was at home, but you had me standing up watching on flow. Just tell us about that awesome race and how much trust it takes to throw sliders like that. And is that place a little bit like Oshweken banging the boards like that, just with an outside wall?
Yeah, that was a it was a great race. And there was a bit of a hole down in turn 1 and 2, so I kind of bounced through that a few times. Car got pretty upset, but yeah, it was probably some of the best racing I've done in quite a while. It was yeah, me and Matt was going back and forth. He'd be going the turn 3 or 4. He'd get a little bit tight in the cushion, so I get a big run on him. Then I'd get tight, and I'd lose ground on him. But yeah, doing slide jobs and going through lap traffic, it was a cool race.
And I was looking over the schedule and what kind of some of the results you've had already this year, but just the travel alone, you got races in Little Rock on the year, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. Talk about making those big treks down into the south and into the Midwest to race.
It's a lot of driving. Normally there's 3 or 4 of us. So we all take turns driving on the way, and yeah, it's kind of cool to get to see a lot of stuff all around, like different towns and everything that I never really get to go to before. But do the racing, get to just see a lot of stuff. But and it's kind of the thing that comes with that, just being away from home a lot, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of all part of it.
Speaking away from home right now, like, where are you at right now? Are you at home? Are you planning on coming to the Oshweken Friday? I noticed there's a little gap in the national tour schedule. I feel like you're probably coming.
Yep, we came home, and that's kind of the plan. Weather depending now, if but hopefully it does happen. That's what we're planning to do, and then Saturday go down to Ohio and race with the All Stars at Atomic Speedway.
Uh, yeah, that's cool. Is that like? I think you'd be perfect for the All Star Tour, and you had an awesome run earlier in the year at East Bay. So talk about the 410 stuff, and if there's a plan to maybe hit that up, because I think you'd be perfect for it.
Yeah, had that good run early this year in Florida, so that was pretty cool. Now kind of upgrade our 410 program a little bit, and gonna whenever it's it works out for us with the ASCS tour to go run some 410 stuff. So like this, we got 2 weeks off now until the next one. So gonna race with the All Stars at Atomic there, and then the following weekend go down to Knoxville, and I think a bunch of the not sure if it is an outlaw show or just a bunch of the outlaw guys are going. So see how we stack up against them at Knoxville.
Awesome.
We mentioned racing in the States and mentioned the All Star Tour. Is there a name of a driver or somebody you've raced against so far that maybe some of us race fans up here in Canada and Southern Ontario wouldn't be as familiar with, that you've been really impressed by, or went like, wow, that guy is, why is that guy not more of a household name in a sprint car?
Uh not not really that anyone just like stands out, but like just being on the tour, like it seems like every time we go racing, you're always against the best of the best guys, and kind of you just kind of think that about everyone. Like you're always like everyone on the tour, they're so good. It seems like every any given night, you don't know who's gonna win that night.
Yep. What about Ryan Timms? I was thinking you were going to say that he's a super young kid and he's definitely been winning a lot.
Yeah,
And I'd say, like, if you're not a super hardcore sprint car fan up here, you're not going to know him, right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, now you say that up. Yeah, at home, there's probably not many people that know about him, but yeah, he like hopping a midget at Lake Ozark, win there, get a good run in the 360 the same night, and then the following night he went. I think it was like a 8 or 9 hour drive overnight for him down to Houston, and he wins in a 410 car. So yeah, he's definitely he's coming up good, and he'll be. I'm not kind of curious how far he'll go because he's definitely good.
Yep, I hear you.
And then what about kind of the vice versa, being a Canadian coming from Scotland, Ontario, going down and racing against some of the competition in the States? Has there been any interactions with other drivers that they've come up to you and been like, oh, like what took you so long to get down here? Or, oh, hey man, like you had a really great run. You've really impressed us coming down from Canada.
Yeah, and then when I first came out, like not very many people knew like where exactly we were out of, and even still right now, it's still a shock to people when we say we come all the way from Canada. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they always say like, "Oh yeah, we got a long drive home tonight, like 5 hours," and we're thinking, like just this past weekend to go from Oklahoma, yeah, our last race in Oklahoma there, all the way home. I think it was about 18 hours, and that was then we had a truck break down a little bit too, so that set us back another 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stories of the road. Those ones always suck. There's never all that. There's a lot of bad ones to outweigh the good ones on that with trucks and stuff breaking down. But tell us about like your career. I know you came up micro sprints, went to the crate sprints a little while, and then you hit the 360s. Tell us about the younger D Dubs back when you were a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, started out racing dirt bikes and did like 50cc class. I did that for a bit. Then I think won a championship or two with that. Then moved up to a 65. And then we were out practicing one night. Kind of had a track like 5 minutes away from us and got in a pretty bad accident. So I had to take a bit of time off. I think a couple of year or two just because I got a foot back concussion. So then Dad, he told me, yep, he's kind of done with dirt bikes after that. So we went and watched some go karts and said we kind of talked. Oh yeah, that's way safer. So we got into that, and then something broke in the steering and broke both my ankles. So yeah,
Yikes!
kind of got the car all fixed up, did that
Brutal.
again, and kind of just kept on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So got it all fixed up and just kind of kept on moving up. But pretty much just at Oshweken, like through the go karts there, then up to the 500s and mini sprints out in New York, then back to Oshweken for the crates, and then 360s.
So like I always wondered, like, what year would you have been a kid sitting in the stands? Like, when did you start going? Do you know, or
Uh,
I've always wondered that with you.
Probably,
Like 2012, before that, probably, right?
yeah, probably before that, because like when I got hurt there, and we didn't really have like couldn't really race because it's still kind of recovering. That's kind of what we did. Went over the track for the first time and checked it out, and
Yeah, so you've been there since you were a kid.
yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And coming up through with that dirt biking as your initial experience, do you find that helped you understand the way dirt functions and the way to operate a vehicle on dirt maybe a little bit faster than maybe somebody who's just jumping right into a go-kart and getting right on the dirt? Do you think that motorcycle background helped you at all?
Yeah, probably a little bit. Just kind of same with dirt track, how it dries out and gets slick and stuff, and probably it helped out then. Just kind of know you got to be in the moisture, get good grip, and drive.
It's definitely got to come with. You're definitely not scared of a sprint car. I'm sure the motorcycles, like Sheldon, same thing, right? He definitely ain't scared, and he came from motorbikes too, so it's got to be something to do with that.
Oh yeah, I can't be scared on the dirt bike. So
No, definitely injure yourself more on that. It still blows me away that you hurt yourself in a go kart too. And then in a sprint car, you've barely ever wrecked. Like, how many wrecks have you had? Like, maybe one really bad one, or two?
yeah, probably one bad one. That was the
That one wasn't even your fault. The guy tagged you going by, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
side flippins.
Yeah. So yeah, you've been pretty like, yeah. Go ahead, John. No.
I was just going to ask. I wanted to ask about racing in the states. If there's a track you've come across that is an amazing facility that you almost would recommend any of us from Southern Ontario trip down to at least one time to watch a sprint car race at.
Like probably the best facility and everything. It's Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. That it's awesome there. There's like you got the dirt track, then in the infield there's tractor pull like set up there. All the pits are paved and everything. You go kind of over to your left a bit. They got the spot for the drag boat races. So if you get too hot when you're working on a car, you can go jump in there and go for a swim. And and then over to your right, you got like the off road, like for the trucks and buggies and stuff.
That's awesome. You go good there. Have you ever won there? I know you've got some really good finishes there.
I never won there. I know, like for the pocket, started I think like eighth or something. Ran down the leader, and then we kind of banged wheels, and I just kind of tipped over on my side,
Yeah,
so that
that's
put
the
in
one
a
I'm thinking of.
flat. But
Yeah.
yeah, but like every time I've been there, I think yeah, for every time I've been there to the Hawk, like locked in, been in the top. I think it's either 6 or 8 that lock in. So normally all these go pretty good there.
Nice. And then we talked about tracks in the states. So what about locally? What's your go-to favorite track here in Ontario?
Yeah, it's got to be Oshweken for that one.
Yeah, you're the all-time winner there. Sorry, just talk about that journey to be the all-time winner at Oshweken, because you only did it in like 4
Yeah, it's
years.
pretty. Yeah, that's I was kind of looking at that today. Just went on the website and was checking some stuff out, and I kind of forgot I was the all-time winner. But probably helped out a little bit that Oshweken hasn't been open for anyone else to get any wins either. So hopefully,
True.
hopefully this Friday, add one more to the list.
Yeah.
25 years of history there, and you're certainly a big part of it. I'm going to end off on this one for me, and then Travis, if you got one more, go for it. But my favorite question to ask any driver is, if you're going to take one kind of race car and one kind of track for the rest of your life, pick the track, pick the car that you would run for the rest of your life.
Hmm. Probably be a 410 sprint car, and hmm, the track part. That's a hard one. Ah,
It's
hmm.
hard when you got so many options and,
I know.
you've
That's
raced so many places, I'm sure.
I knew he was going to say 410.
Yeah. Probably be Oshweken, just because, I don't know, just always grew up there and home track. Probably not.
Yeah.
No place like home.
Exactly.
Well, you did get the 5th one time in the 410 race there, the Outlaw race. I think that was your best run in that, right?
Yep, that was first time in a 410. We rented the motor off Trey Hoddick and went out.
Yeah.
Kind of was pretty surprised about that when we started 16th and ended up 5th right behind Larson.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're probably still recovering from all that travel, but it was awesome to catch up with you, Dylan, and we wish you a lot of success down in the States and
No doubt.
and up here locally, and maybe you could tack on a few more wins to the record books at Oshweken.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Dylan Westbrook joining the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Thanks again, buddy.
No problem.
Awesome, D-Dubs. Thanks, buddy.
And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.